I welcome you back to The Middlemen. My case. The confession at IBB's book launch. At the book launch titled A Journey in Service, the autobiography of former Nigeria's military head of state General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida IBB, he said, and I quote, "Although I am on record to have stated after the election that Abiola may not have won the election, upon deeper reflection and a closer examination of all available facts, particularly the detailed election results which are published as an appendix to this book, there was no doubt that MKO Abiola won the June 12 elections," end quote. The long-awaited autobiography, which was reviewed by former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, was released today, February 20, 2025, at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel in Abuja. Osinbajo disclosed that IBB admitted that the late Moshood Kashamau or Lawale Abiola, popularly known as MKO Abiola, won the June 12, 1993 presidential election. He quoted the former military general in his book that if he had to do it all over again, he would do it differently. My verdict: I hope that someone would someday give clarification and confession on who really won the February 23, 2023 general election. But must they rig elections and disrupt the polity only to write books as confession?
Yes. I think I would like us to take Barrister first on this.
I would like to read I would like to read the book. Okay, I'm just searching online now to, see if I can order the book as quickly as possible, because that expression that Abiola actually won the election is not enough. Not enough. We know that, from the outing, what happened pre the election and post the election, and the crisis that erupted the country as a result of that annulment. Even the INEC chairman then, who superintended over the election, who is now late, also has also alluded to the fact that that election was well won by Abiola and the rest of that. So we've heard all this, okay, but what we've not heard is the truth behind the annulment, okay? Because what the federal government, the IBB, put out there at that time is perhaps falsehood, because the things surrounding the whole dispute that threw the country into an avalanche of discord, okay, have not been properly unraveled. And penalty for wrongdoing at that time have not been meted out on anyone, except that the protagonist himself is the one who had to pay with his life, and that of his wife, which is to say that the victims themselves, those who suffered the loss themselves, were the same persons whom their blood were used, to wash away the truth and cover sin with lies, and we have lived with these lies that is giving us a run for our life in 2025. Okay, so admitting sin in a book. So what would be the consequence of this action? The Oputa panel tried to address it. The Oputa panel failed ostensibly because it didn't have an enforcement. It was not even brought under an act of parliament. So it didn't have the virus. Okay, it didn't have the probative and legal standing to address the issue the way it ought to have addressed it with penalty in mind. So now that there's a confessional statement in law, it is said that the confessional statement is sufficient enough to convict an accused person. Confessional statement with no other evidence. is sufficient to convict an accused person. In the case under reference, this confession is not being made before the court of law, but all the same is confession. Okay, so now what will be the penalty for this offense, and where would culpability lie, and how would this recompense for the life of the deceased, the victims who were supposed to be the protagonists and who have turned out to be the victims whose blood have been used so far? That's the question that posterity is asking. Would there be a penalty? I put this to you.
All of this, I think, is a test of the Nigerian legal system or a test of our laws. Like we discussed in the Natasha Akpabio saga, as a lawyer, certain aspects of law are not contemplated until events happen. So I'm wondering if somebody, in quote, a less persona than the former military president make this kind of confession, if they will still be left where they are. I'm just wondering. I'm not even after what follows. So I think there is a lot of overlordship in Nigeria concerning government officials. There's a lot of untouchability. There's a lot of what we generally will call impunity. Because beyond the protagonist losing their... You can recall the brutality in the murder of a woman, a defenseless woman, Alhaja Kudirat, at the time. You wonder she was not an aspirant. What can be the name of her offense to be cut down in her prime? Emotional damages to children, family members. That's one. Like you say, he threw the country, you're into an avalanche of mayhem. You can imagine the widespread losses. And so when this kind of thing is made, are we to read the book and just flip the page and go away and say, oh, he finally confessed? Because if you, as a lawyer, barrister, there is something called the long arm of the law. I think at this stage, we need to test how lengthy that law arm is. There is the former president, is it in Spain or Chile, Augusto Pinochet. I think the law was long enough in arms. The arm of the law was long enough to bring them to book, So I don't think there's any... 1993 is 32 years now. That is somebody's lifetime. There are people whose children or peer or sibling have died. And so if you are looking at a 32-year-old now, you are imagining the life that would have been lost correspondingly on the flip side. So I don't see the book as something to rejoice about. I think the beginning of development in Nigeria will be the enforcement of responsibilities and reprisal, reward, sanction, reward. When that is commensurate, possibly we get responsible enough and progress towards development. Otherwise, I'm also wondering what will be the local standing, what will be the rationale for with this kind of confession. We need to hear the rationale for the annulment. I think that can extend meaning to this confession. That's why I rest my case.
Yeah, it's very true. As we wait, patiently wait for the long arm of the law to take its course, I asked a very important question on my verdict. I just sincerely hope that the just concluded February 23, 2023 election would in the future not happen the same way like we just noticed or have experienced now, when someone will come and say this is the person that actually won that election and not this other person. Because it's very important as we look back into history, we equally try to avoid history repeating itself in the present or the future. So I guess that is the most important thing for me and to lots of Nigerians whom sincerely feel that good governance starts from doing the right thing at the right time so we can avert consequences that would come in the future. So that's my take. Yes.
the reason put forth before now, this current confession in the book seems to negate the reason put forth by the military Supreme Council then. Okay, there's a discordant tune here. Okay, so this current statement seems to be retracting what was said 32 years ago because it's at variance. So what it therefore means is that what was said 32 years ago was falsehood. Okay, because they painted all kind of picture like he declared himself, and all that, and things like that. But if you are now saying today that you actually won the election, are you therefore saying that you lied to the populace at that time? And if that was a lie, what is supposed to be the consequence of that? And if after that lives were taken, protests happened, so many persons were injured, so many killed. In fact, one of our colleagues, got blind during the protests. Okay, I don't want to call names now, but he got blind during the protests and all that. So when you put all these losses together and you benchmark it with the confession of a bomber or the confession of a past president, for want of what to say, for want of the right word to use, head of state. My only pain or worry here is that in Nigeria people get away with wrong. People get away with wrong. Okay, the man who was alleged to have shot Tupac. Okay, the investigation, had been on since that time until just last year when they lay hold of him, and trial is ongoing now. And in this trial, he has been able to make a lot of statements, confessional statements, and a lot of arrests have been made. The Tupac was just a musician, not a government official, not one who led the country or at any point in time or whatever, just a private businessman who happens to be a musician, a rapper. Okay? In our clan, investigation takes how long? I mean, Bola Ige, Harry Marshall, Michelle Williams, all those that were killed politically, then even the one we're talking about now, Abiola, and the wife could do that, and all those losses, they were actually the outcome of that annulment. So through that annulment, murder have been committed, people have been killed, and people have been rendered homeless, and people have been rendered fatherless and motherless and all that. Should this come without a consequence? I'll leave it to Nigerians to answer the question.
Very true. We can go on and on. The question still remains: who actually, made this possible? Of course, the confession is there, but of course, we will continue to wait for what would happen at the end of the day.
Well, I think it behooves it's a test for me. It's a litmus test for our judiciary. Haven't heard a confession like this. Is the leg too heavy to make the next move? And like I said, were it to be, in quote, a lesser person's confession, would I be sleeping happily at home after that kind of confession?
All right. I think we just have to let it slide here. Thank you so very much, Rabbi Evans Ofeli, for being here.
It's my pleasure.
Innocent Aduluwa.
Always a pleasure.
Always. And people, that's just about the time we have on the Middlemen. Please do well to check up on us. You can always find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike, and I'll see you next time on The Middlemen. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye from us.
Take care.